Yeah, I like that clock on the wall. I like those colors, the purple and the orange together. This is a fairly new train station, you can tell. Light comes in nicely. So I had the coffee at McDonald's and I feel great. So that's the train to Dandong, and there were people selling tours. And if there was an English tour, I'd take the English tour, but I've done foreign tours before, and I've done them in Mexico, South America, and China. Yeah. And pick up every 10th word. My language skills are definitely not fluent. They're enough to get by, but my Chinese just gets worse and worse because I just don't put the time into it. I was talking to my sister, and she's like, "Why do you even go to China?" And to be quite honest with you, since I'm, not seeing Ting Ting anymore, once I get this thing set up with a system in place, I don't need to come back here. And because this is a very, very difficult country to travel around in as a foreigner. They do not make it easy. They really don't. The sun is so strong that I stopped and put on some suntan lotion because I could feel my skin like melting. It's like, feels like you're under a magnifying glass. It is 1 o'clock, so this is when the sun is at its hottest point. So I'm walking down to the river, and there's a lot of restaurants around where I'm staying, so I didn't eat yesterday other than a handful of cashews, so I'm kind of looking forward to having something to eat tonight. Now, I've been looking at the people here to see if they look more Korean than Chinese. And so far, I'd say they really don't look Korean to me. And there was a point where I could, it's hard to say because, the Japanese were here for so long. They intermix. But people would ask me, do you think this person's Korean, Japanese, Chinese, etc.? And I was able to pretty much, more often than not, I'd be able to tell the difference apart. But again, it's something you forget how to tell. It's like I go by more of it's not so much the look, I go by how people act, by their mannerisms and how they perform. On the street or seeing them in person. Okay, I think that's North Korea over there. That's the Yalu River. The United States made a really bad decision. I think it was MacArthur, who went too far north. He basically drove all the way to the Yalu River, and the Chinese had been saying, "Don't go there, don't go there." And they went there, and the Chinese basically entered the war at that point. And if we had just stopped and called for peace at that point, then I think it would be a very different world today. This is probably not the best time to be in Dandong with Trump. Trump, I haven't listened to it, but everybody's been telling me that Trump a couple days ago was saying, he's threatening to bomb North Korea into the oblivion, something to that effect. It's North Korea. It's pretty, very pretty. Tourist wharf. This is where you can go out on a boat to North Korea, like along the shoreline. This is the start of the bridge. Beautiful day. August 11th, 2017. I saw a poll online, and I think it was either 2/3 or 75%. It was a very, very high number of Americans polled are very concerned about North Korea. And I'm just thinking to myself, here we go again. These people buy everything they're fed. They're going to North. They ride along the coast. If I get back on, I want to go for a boat ride, I'll do it. But my experience with those boats in China, what happens is you pay one price and then you get on the boat and they put you like in a cattle car where you can't see anything. And if you want a better view, you have to pay like 5 times the price. Like you see how there's some people up on top? That's like extra. They did that to me in Shanghai. And I got off that boat and I went to the ticket office and I basically told those people that that was full of, it was full of malarkey. And they said, if we give you your money back, will you leave? And I said, yes. So they gave me my money and I left. So hopefully they'll get the point that, that's bait and switch. Oh, there's the Ferris wheel straight ahead that everybody was talking about that is never used. That's China. That's Dandong. So you can see the difference in the development on that side versus the development on this side. I didn't expect North Korea to be even this developed. But according to what I read online, there's a lot of trade, illegal and legal trade between the two sides. So obviously, like every country, there's probably a very small percentage of the population who own everything in North Korea, other than the fatty Kim. Yeah, I haven't seen any other foreigners on the bridge. And there were a couple of kids who were flipping out. I went up to one of them. See, they can call you two things. They can call you Waiguoren, which means foreigner, or they can call you Lawai, which is a derogatory term for foreigner. And the people who are friendly say Waiguoren, the people who are hostile say Lawai. So everybody around here uses Lawai. I've heard it 4 times. I read online that there were 183,000 names on the Korean War Museum. Yeah, see the differences here is, I mean, back in 1951, 52, 53, the Chinese really are not very well armed. I mean, they would assault the Americans with a wave of human beings, just a wave of soldiers, and half of them wouldn't even have weapons. And when somebody fell, they'd pick up a rifle on the dead guy. They'd overrun. They'd have so many they'd overrun and they'd basically bayonet Americans. Excuse me. So that's China. That goes down. This is considered a port town because that goes out to the ocean that way. That's North Korea. Ferris wheel is not moving straight ahead. Oh, maybe it is moving. Yeah, it is moving. Huh. You can see how strong that current is. That'll take you for a ride. Yeah, I can see people riding down that water slide right there. The water's shooting up, see? It's the end of the bridge right here. Chinese Navy boat, gunboat of some sort. See, the guns are covered. Reminds me of the boat with Steve McQueen, Sand Pebbles, I think it was called, when he was a sailor on a boat that goes up the Yangtze River in China. He ends up getting killed in the end during the Boxer Rebellion, I believe. Good place to fly a kite, as long as it doesn't come down on top of a car. Hello, can I help you? So there's a boardwalk along the river. The boat's 60 yuan. It's about $9. I'm not going to do the boat because, as I mentioned before, there's usually some sort of catch. And I was watching them, they don't actually get that close to the shore. So maybe I'll change my mind, but that's how I feel right now. 2 o'clock. There's the Chinese boat cruising the North Korean shoreline. They said the North Koreans line up on the shoreline and wave, but maybe it looks like a park over there. Maybe that's where they